So this thing here is the Bigme Hibreak A phone. Yes, you've heard that correctly. But wait, as you can see, it's not only a phone. The display is e-ink, which means it's also an ebook reader. So in my unboxing video I said that I'm going to review this thing as being an e-ink reader, but then also a phone, making calls, using navigation, socials, all kind of things, because it's important to understand how good is the Bigme ink in all of this. But let's start first with the design. You're getting this nice brick that has these big but symmetrical bezels, the speaker on the front camera. You do have the USB-C port and the microphones. Of course, here we have the volume rocker. They also can be used to turn pages, the power button, and also a special button. Here, very importantly, you can use this to put your SIM card slot, which I did, as you can see, but also you can use this to store a micro SD card with up to 1 TB of storage. When you turn the phone on the back, you can see this nice leather effect. Of course, that's plastic, but I think it feels good. And what is very important, there are no fingerprints on this thing on the back. Also, we do have the camera on the back and also the flash. Now guys, the first thing that comes to your mind when you have this phone is like, what is the use case scenario? Like, what are you gonna do with this? The answer is you can do plenty of things. This phone will come pre-installed with Kindle, also with Bookshelf, so it's directly made for you enjoying your favorite books and comics. But you can also, of course, use a Google account, sign in Google Play Store and download all your favorite apps such as Telegram, YouTube, right, Maps, Chrome, Facebook. So it really doubles as a normal phone. You can use this thing really to make phone calls, and it's a very niche product, but I do believe that it's meant for the people that want to enjoy a minimalistic experience and also be able to just go outside and use this. And by the way guys, on purpose I'm doing this video outside because this display really shines in the outside. Let's talk about the display guys. Right now, as you can see, I'm not using any backlighting, but I can increase this and I'm gonna show you how it works inside. But the display is really stunning because you can clearly see everything with this. Now let's enjoy this comics with my amazing Kindle. As you can see, it's small, right? So I can turn the pages, but what happens when I double tap guys? I'm gonna get this so-called guided access, which is so cool because it will allow me to zoom in and out and be able to consume each individual square from the comics. And as you can see, by the way, the screen refresh rate is very good. Now let's talk for a moment about the screen. Right, from this menu here, I can swipe up and get access to all my quick controls such as Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or airplane. I can also regulate the backlighting, the volume. When I click here, I'm gonna get this sophisticated menu. This sophisticated menu will bring you to the e-ink center, from where you can configure the refresh rate and other things, because this phone really is so powerful in terms of display settings. So you might think it's only ink, but there are many ways for you to configure it, starting with anti-shake technology or auto clean, and I'm going to show this later. This is very important, but also the refresh mode. So right now I'm using the extreme one for obvious purposes because this really delivers almost 21 FPS. We have also fast, we have Regal and HD 256. We have the full refresh frequency, and there are also some direct modes. And let me share guys, if I am to utilize the comic one, it will look absolutely better. But when I click here, it's not going to be using the extreme refresh rate, so it's going to be a bit slower. But all the details, look at this, it really looks like real paper. So it's really up to you to find your best setting. Now I have decided to use the extreme one because I really want to get things done in the fastest way. So I'm clicking custom, right, and from the custom I'm using the anti-shake technology, the auto clean, and I'm also setting the refresh rate to extreme. Now there are default modes, magazine, comics, video. There is also an app optimization section that will allow you to change the DPI setting or the font size, and also some enhancement to the text, like icon color and background color. But let me show you once again guys, this thing here is the extreme refresh rate and it's absolutely stunning. Take a look. All right, so this is the amazing Kindle. Now remember, this isn't just an ink reader, it's a full-fledged phone, so I can just swipe up. I'm gonna go back to my home screen and I want to show you the Bookshelf. The Bookshelf is a pre-installed app directly on the phone, and it supports EPUB, MOBI, all kind of formats. Now why do I want to show this to you guys? See here guys, remember this is the volume rocker, so when I go outside to the home screen, this will just rise the volume up or bring it down. But when I enter the Bookshelf, these keys are going to double as page turners. And if you have been using Kindles like I do, you know how convenient this thing really is. And just take a look, right? all the fonts here so nicely displayed, and this is why I decided to shoot the first part of the video outside. Now, this is a full-fledged ink reader, so when you click on the page, you're gonna have full options, which means contents, progress, also format. You can change the font size, you can also make it bold, you can even change the fonts. You can really make this your own thing, and this is so cool about this phone, because again, if you want to just go somewhere and enjoy a ebook, this thing will help you. But remember, this thing here is still a phone, so yes, you're gonna be able to use all kind of apps directly from Google Play Store, which means you can just go and download them like you do on any other phone. And let me show you something, guys. I installed, for example, Telegram, because I use Telegram a lot, and I wanted to show you how this thing looks like. And when you're outside, you know how it's hard sometimes with the fonts and the brightness, but take a look at this here, guys. This will not hurt your eyes. Of course, this requires a learning curve, because you probably didn't use these apps on e-ink, but once you get how it works, I do believe that you are going to enjoy it. This here is the home screen. And on the home screen, I have all the apps that I have installed. When I go to the right, I'm gonna have also a widget screen. You can click on the Add Widget button, and you're gonna have all kind of widgets, like an analog clock, a digital clock, also widgets from the apps that you have installed, like for example Facebook. So boom, just click on it, the widget is gonna get installed, and once you click on this, you're gonna have full access to Facebook. And yes, this is, by the way, how Facebook looks. And specifically when you use this under direct bright sunlight, there is absolutely not a problem with readability. Take a look at here, guys. This really looks insane, and it's just because it's ink, right? So it's a whole other different technology from all the AMOLED and the OLED displays. But let me go back to the home screen, because I want to show you some other things. This thing comes with some tools pre-installed. We have the OneNote, we have Bigme V2T that allows you to record your audio messages and gets them transcribed. We have the WPS Office Lite, but then we have also, guys, Bigme GPT, which is interesting. I'm gonna come back to this, and also Scan Document that allows you to use the back camera, make some photos, and then directly OCR them in many languages. Supports, I do believe, more than 70 languages. But let me show you guys the Bigme GPT, because this thing is insane. Nobody would expect a phone like this to have also AI, and it has, guys. And I've already created some things, like for example, draw a German sports car. Okay, this thing here is a cat. It can also compose for you, guys. So for example, sci-fi movies and books. It will take some time to analyze the data, and then, you know, it's gonna give you an outline. And what I love most, it has also a chat like ChatGPT. So what is love? It's going to just give you back some information. So it's really cool that things like this are also included there. This here is the phone, all right? You can just dial whoever you want. I'm gonna show you how the process works and looks, right? So I'm dialing right now my operator. You can use also the speaker. The phone is equipped only with one speaker, so this is gonna be it. You can do your calls and it's gonna work just fine. And now something, guys, very interesting. This is the GPS test. I wanna show you how quick this phone is able to lock it. See, almost 5 seconds. We have a 3D fix, and those here are all the satellites that the phone is able to find, which means that yes, it has a proper GPS and also gyroscope that will allow you to use things like Google Maps, for example. Alright, I'm connected to the internet. What I'm gonna do from this menu, I'm gonna kill the Wi-Fi and just leave the 4G on, and this is the speed that you can get. You can fully utilize the SIM card with mobile data and with connectivity. Also, you can use things like Google Maps, and they're going to really work the way it's meant to be. So every time you're just done with reading your books, right, you can just get back to your phone. I'm gonna go inside and show you the rest of the phone, the software, the menu, but I just wanted you to experience this phone outside, because I do believe that the screen is one of the main powers, but there are so many. And now I'm inside, and this is the screen without any illumination. Remember, when I swipe from the right top corner, I'm gonna get access to all the quick settings, the display brightness included, and yep, there are 36 levels, so you can see how bright this thing goes. Let me just open the comics so that you can appreciate this, all right? This is without the brightness, and this is with 100%, 36 levels. So when I usually use the phone inside, I do prefer to have some backlighting. I also do use this on my Kindle, it's the Paperwhite, and this is very good for reading in the night, because we have the backlit thing here. And by the way, let's check the viewing angles. It is almost really like if you're using a real book. So I do believe that the ink display is one of the best thing about this phone. Notice here we have a floating ball. When you click these, guys, you're going to be able to access quick things like going to home, going to the previous section, or this thing is interesting. This is the process manage. Okay, so think of this like the recent menu. So from here, you're going to be able to clean your memory. From here, you can also change the orientation of the phone. You can also take screenshots. And the thing that I like is everything is just reachable within one finger. Okay, so you can even decide to reboot or shut down the phone. When using this phone, the best way to access your recent apps is to go here. This is the process manager. See, now I have this to open. I can click everything and boom, I can decide to free up some of the memory. This phone has 6 GB of memory and it does use this MediaTek chip that you see on the screen that is absolutely enough for reading books and also consuming your standard social services. Hey, what about YouTube? Well, let me show you guys. I'm just going to open YouTube and show you what it looks to have a video on e-ink, because with the extreme refresh rate, this really looks absolutely astonishing. And why? Well, let me show you guys. If I go now here and I choose not the extreme one, but the regal, you're gonna see how the refresh rate will impact. So it's almost not watchable. And this is why it's so important to understand that this phone refresh modes are really crazy good, because the moment you choose the extreme one, you can really watch videos. Like if that's your thing, to watch videos on an ink display, you're more than welcome to do so, because it's going to work for sure. So the sound is only going to be produced from the upper speaker here. It's not the loudest speaker out there, and the sound is a bit on the thinner side. This is how it's gonna sound. Alright, so this is about the sound, but what about the camera? Because yes, you've seen there is a gallery, and like I told you, this phone has a 13 megapixel camera on the back and a 5 megapixel camera on the front. This phone is actually able to not only take pictures, you can also shoot video. This thing is a photo taken with the phone, and don't expect that this is gonna be a camera phone, but it's gonna be good enough for you to be able to capture those moments. And remember, we do have also the scan app, so this camera with this app apparently doubles as an OCR reader. Now let's check the Bigme V2T, and this is a tool that will allow you to take voice notes. Can you hear me? Yes, it's recording in real time, and not only is this recording in real time, but later on you're going to be able to translate this. Let me show you. All right, so this is the recording apparently. Now I can play back what I've recorded, but what I like is that it has AI tidy and AI summary. See here guys, recording note, it gives me the date. You can see a summary, right, with translation capability, with user experience, with also practical applications. So you can apparently use this tool to record the meetings, the people that are working with you are okay with this, and also export them as text and also in PDF. What happens if you want to decide to save it as text? You just click here on this menu guys, boom. It's going to be extracted as a text file, and when you click view, it's going to be there and you can click and open the note. And by the way, there are other readers as well, like the X reader. What I'm saying is that the Bigme phone is really pumped up from the box with a lot of these apps that are very useful. We do have also a file manager, a very good one by the way, that will allow you to just go and browse and check whatever you have and move it around and delete it. And I really like the interface because it's so simple and everything is just where it needs to be. Now again, it has some limitations as it's ink, so you don't expect to get a full-fledged OS. When I go inside the settings, I'm gonna be welcomed with the same simplicity. So we have all the networking stuff, you have the screensaver, the display, the sound, the apps. We have also a thin mode by the way, password security, sleep time, all the nice things that you expect to have from a regular phone. Also, you have a power manager. So if you want to get a bit more on that sweet battery, you can go and you can use the power saver mode. You can set up all the gestures, and when you click on the more settings, you're gonna get a standard Android menu. This is the standard Android menu, and it does use Android 11. Okay, so have in mind that it's not going to be the latest one, but hopefully this thing is gonna get more updates as it supports over-the-air updates. You have a calculator. Take a look at this, so simple and yet so effective. What about the notifications? Because remember, every time I swipe from here, I'm going to activate the quick settings that is pretty much on every Android. If I go from here guys, I'm going to get the notification, like from where you can see pretty clean look. It's really like Android stock. You can manage, or you can boom, clear them all. The final thing I want to say is the battery life. Without my SIM card, this thing really was able to just hold for days. With the SIM card inserted guys, I can get like a day and a half, so don't expect to get some crazy battery life just because the screen is e-ink. Well, why? Because we have GPS, right? We have a modem that will consume mobile data and also Wi-Fi, right? So it will of course be just like any other regular phone, but with a bit of a better battery just because the screen is not illuminating at 3000 nits and just poking our eyes. So have this in mind. Don't expect some great battery life. If you use this as a proper phone, you're gonna get a proper battery. Now guys, let's do a recap. Who should buy this phone? Well, if you read ebooks, even comics, and use Amazon Kindle, and if you do prefer e-ink and you don't want to bring your phone and your e-ink reader with you, or let's say you forgot it, well, this thing can be for you because you have one device that can do all these things. It can really double as a proper phone. Of course, you're gonna have the limitations just from the technology, but there are so many other things. Like, take a look at this here. So many other things that are so good, specifically if your thing is reading. So if you enjoy reading books or comics and you want to stay connected and you want to get this simple experience that is so effective and don't get swamped with 1000 apps that you're going to be installing on your phone, just the basics, so most probably it's worth trying this phone. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, VST over and bye.